Hey guys, Feuerrm here, and today I am not going to be testing the Koenigsegg Jesko in multiplayer in Asphalt 9 for the second time. Pro Team Dihan has given me some races in his 6-star Jesko, so this is at rank 4,628 with all upgrades and import parts applied except for some on handling and top speed, and I don't think there are all epics either. But regardless of that, this car is an absolute beast at pretty much any star you get it at, even if it's at lower 2 or 3 stars. Check out the previous video I made about this car if you would like to see how it performs at 3 stars, where I ranked that more people who actually got it probably got it at. This here is a very rare occasion, and I tip my hat to you, Dihan, for managing to max this car, 6-star it I should say, because you guys, if you saw my Jesko rant sort of explaining sort of video thingy, which you should if you haven't yet, I explained that you would need 132,000 tokens on average in order to 6-star the Jesko. So yeah, it is not an easy feat at all. And you can see in this video that this car definitely was the one to spend a lot of tokens on if you had a lot at that time. That's the thing, even if it was way overpriced, which I definitely still think it is the best car in the game, so there would have been nothing really else that you would have been wanting to spend your tokens on, and so yeah, I put all my tokens into this. Unfortunately, didn't manage to win the car, but Afik put all of his tokens into it, managed to win it, and I think that is a very good use of tokens at this time. I don't think we're going to see a Jesko killer, or Jesko, I should say, for quite a while. In that race, Dihan came in first by a very long shot, and well, that is a recurring sort of pattern throughout the video, because the thing is, this car at max, or almost max as it is here, can go near 320 miles per hour when at full speed with nitro, which is way higher than almost every single other car in the game. I mean, no other car even manages to get above 300. The Regera and the Chiron get over 290, but that's still over 20 miles per hour slower than this car. And the Chiron, if you want to compare it with that, can go about 288 at max, I think, so 30 miles per hour slower. That is why this car is definitely the new king of the game. It has a lot better top speed than the Chiron, as I just showed. It actually has a better drifting speed, and I think slightly better drifting radius than the Chiron. The Jesko's nitro efficiency and acceleration are marginally worse than the Chiron, but honestly, on pretty much every track, I believe the Jesko is probably going to win. It's going to win on the longer ones because of its much better top speed. It's going to win on the twistier ones because of its better speed while drifting. For example, like around the Chiron turn, it keeps better speed than the Corvette. So now let's see how the Jesko does on the Caribbean, which is quite a twisty track. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, just how does the Jesko stack up to the other new car that is now having a special event, the McLaren Senna? Well, I made a video about driving the McLaren Senna at max, and also, I made one on the same track about me versusing the hot dog. Versusing, new word. It was on Capital of the World, and we both got low 113s. Now, this is quite good for the track, however, the Chiron Nemesis, I know, can make a better time than that, so I don't believe the Senna is really going to be king on any tracks, because the thing is, its speed is so low. While its acceleration and nitro efficiency and handling are all extremely good, it has the best handling in the game, the speed just sort of kills it on some tracks, where even though all its other stats are so much better, I mean, the Chiron Nemesis, which goes 70 or something miles per hour faster, may not have as good of nitro efficiency, but once it gets up to that speed, that's when it can really start pulling ahead. So yeah, I honestly don't think the Senna is worth necessarily as much as we're going to have to spend on it. It's going to be very good for multiplayer, but I can't really imagine it being used in events a whole lot, although who knows, maybe it'll have some specialty tracks like the Caribbean, and even with a wreck, the Jesko was able to get first place on the Caribbean. See, the thing about the Jesko is that while its nitro efficiency and acceleration are not the best, they're not terrible either. So basically, it has two average stats and then two really good stats, namely the drifting and the top speed. And this just makes an overall great car that can do decently well on those tracks that require nitro efficiency and acceleration, and very well on those tracks that require the top speed and the drifting. This is something that the Senna just cannot really do. It can do quite well on the tracks that are very twisty, but on anything that has any long straight sections whatsoever, I mean, it's really going to fall fall quite behind. Again, here I'm talking about event times and stuff like that, the sort of thing that I base my best and worst cars in each class list on. I'm sure it'll be amazing in multiplayer. I'm currently, I think, 8 blueprints away from unlocking the Senna, assuming I'm able to unlock it, which I think I should be able to, not 100% sure, but I hope to. If I do manage to get it, of course, I will make a video about it, probably at that lower stars, and maybe I'll get somebody else to record a video about it at some higher stars, just so we see how it does in multiplayer at those different points that people might get it at. And I'm looking forward to testing it quite a lot. It's a very fun car to drive, perhaps the most fun in the game. Now let's see how the Jesko does against its closest competitor, a Bugatti Chiron. This is a track that is actually quite well suited for top speed cars, because you have the section at the beginning with these barrel rolls that actually make it very good for nitro efficiency, high nitro efficiency cars too, so that you can keep shockwave on all of them. But once you get up to speed, which you can do quite easily on these ramps, even with the mediocre nitro efficiency of the Jesko, well, you can stay there for a lot of the track, because there are no super sharp turns on, well, pretty much any of it, except for that 360-degree one at the end. So you can see here the Jesko is caught up to the Chiron, almost wrecks, but doesn't. That's a very close one there, and manages to stay just ahead leading up to this ramp here. This is one of the closest battles of the video, and it really shows the difference between these two kings. Whereas the Chiron has that better acceleration, nitro efficiency, so could get ahead at the beginning, the Jesko, with its quite a bit better top speed, is able to pass it at other points on the track. And we can see here that the Jesko is just dominating around this curve, with the Bugatti Chiron quite far back there. Now he's not on top of us, he's that dot that's still rounding the curve at this point. So with that versus that was made a while back between the Max Jesko and Max Chiron, and this video showing the 6-star Jesko at work in multiplayer, hopefully it's pretty clear at this point to most people that yes, the Jesko is really the new king of the game, and I'm honestly not sure if the Chiron can really beat it on any tracks. But for those people who have Bugatti Chirons at like 4 stars or whatever like I do, you don't really have to worry a whole lot, because so few people actually manage to get the Jesko that in multiplayer seasons or events when you can use both the Chiron and the Jesko, most people are going to be in the Chiron. So don't worry about the Chiron becoming obsolete. I really don't think that is going to happen for quite a while, because it still is an extremely good car to drive. It does have better acceleration nitro efficiency than the Jesko, even though not by much. It's still a thing, and I know some people do like that quite a bit. So yeah, even though the Jesko is a better car, the Chiron is still extremely useful. And the Jesko is even good in pink, again. So in my previous video about the Jesko multiplayer, I talked a bit about what was going to be in the Senna event, and now that I'm a bit more into it, I can give you guys sort of an update on where I stand. I have managed to max the Aranera Hesera 33, the new C-Class King, which was one of my highest priorities for the event, and it's extremely useful in order to get the Senna, so I think that was a good choice. I should be making a video about that car within a week or so. As I said earlier in the video, I have about 8 blueprints left to get the Senna or so. I have a 5-star Apollo N and a 5-star P1, so that will not be a problem. However, I do not have the GT12, and honestly, even if I were to unlock it at 1 or 2 or like even 3 stars, it really wouldn't do me all that much good. Now, my 570S is at 4 out of 5 stars, or 4 out of 6 really, but you only need 5 for the event. 6 stars isn't going to help you anymore here. So I'm kind of in a pickle. I don't know whether to spend tokens to try to get the GT12, which isn't really going to help me a whole lot in the Senna event, or spend those tokens instead on the King of the Fall packs, which unfortunately also have the Apollo N and McLaren P1 blueprints in them, which already have maxed, but maybe perhaps I can get a 5-star 570S out of that, which will give me at least 4 more blueprints for the Jesko. I don't know what I'm going to do just yet, but just know that I will be trying to get the Jesko in whatever way that I find after, doing a bit of research to be the best way to do it. And thankfully, the Senna event is not quite as pay to win as the Jesko one, although honestly, that's not really saying much, but I think it's going to be an easier card to get for most people. So now it's time for the final race in the video. You guys know what time it is for me to give my general review of the car. Well, you pretty much know exactly what I'm going to say about it. It's the king of the game, with by far the best top speed in the game, and one of the best drifting speeds in the entire game, if not the very best. Its acceleration and nitro efficiency are okay, I guess. Overall, it is a very good car, even at lower stars, but at max, it really shines, as you could see in this video. There's pretty much nothing that can stop it here. Oh, and I just quickly want to mention, I made a video about gameplay on the new orbital loop track in Asphalt 8, and a lot of people in the comments were saying that that track should be added to Asphalt 9 instead. I mean, I agree. It would be really cool in Asphalt 9 as well, but I'm going to go back to Asphalt 8 to try it. But I just wanted to clarify that the reason it is receiving so many views, maybe more than some of my other videos, is because Gameloft actually did a promotion for it with a pop-up in-game, so that's pretty cool. So we're coming up to the end of the race in first place. Thank you, Dihan, for these races. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and Forza and Minecraft content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.